heard those terms in your daily life? I'm sure that you guys are familiar with those terms, right? But what does it actually mean? Well, the term has these stereotypes to quote-unquote degrading someone. Like in Indonesia, we have these similar terms like norak or kampungan. But what does that mean anyway? When does it start? And is that have like any connection with subcultures or community? And why are they using those terms as a tools of bullying? And why TikTok being the first platform that has major effects on these trends? Without any further ado, let's dive in, shall we? The term Jamet itself is the name of particular subcultures in Indonesia. And Indonesia, as a mosaic of cultures and traditions, has obviously seen the rise of various subcultures and countercultures over the years. But what do these terms mean and how do they manifest in this Indonesian context? First of all, we have to understand the definition of subcultures itself. So subcultures are groups that have distinct values, norm, and practice that differentiate them from the larger societal cultures. In Indonesia, this group often emerge as a response to societal norms, seeking a sense of belonging and identity. Countercultures, on the other hand, actively oppose dominant societal norms and values, and they challenge the status quo and often aim for social transformations. To critically analyze this phenomena, we turn to the concept of hegemony, introduced by Italian Marxist Antonio Gramsci. Hegemony refers to the cultural, ideological, or economic influence exerted by a dominant group over other groups. And by applying Gramsci's theory to Indonesia, we see how dominant culture narrative shape the mainstream and often marginalize subcultures and countercultures. These marginalizations can lead to resistance as this group seek to challenge and redefine societal norms. Well, let's take a look at the beginning of the rise of the terms Jamet. According to this article that I found in Medium and Mojo.co, the terms Jamet is the name of the subcultures in Indonesia, and the word Jamet itself is an acronym for the word Jawa metal. Jawa as in the ethnics of Javanese and metal as a genre of music metal. But no, there is no particular metal band involved in this, and in fact, not all of people that it's included in this community is all from the ethnic Javanese. Most of them were from Madura or Minang or even Sundanese. Well, it all beginning at this TikTok video. Username at Yusuf.sikuyos. Yep, Jamet is not a community of people that are like metal band. In fact, Jamet is a community from the casual or working class that has particular style with their fashion, such as baggy t-shirts and also long hair or sometimes like a mullet, and this kind of style like emo styles. And they have this distinctive hairstyle called polem or poni lempar. And they have also distinctive dance and also a genre music like pop Melayu, DJ remix, and koplo. In this context, Jamet is included as subcultures because of its distinctive taste of self-expressions that is considered tacky because it's just different from the majority. You know, it's interesting how Jamet became the marginalized group in this society, and yet people that are in this subculture say that this is just like to express their identity and to seek fun beside their, their escape after working for hours, as most of them are harsh labor and also most of them work like in the construction sites. So they proudly express their style as a symbol of self-validations and to seek others people's attention for appreciations as their self-expressions that are considered authentic and unique rather than most people. This phenomenon of Jamet subculture doesn't just exist in Indonesia. Apparently, there's another subcultures around the world that has quite the same or like similar with Jamet in another country. Like in China, there are subcultures that are similar with Jamet called Shamat. If we look at the hairstyles, the dances, and the music, it's very similar to Jamet. And another thing that why these subcultures are similar to one another is that they're coming from like factory workers or construction sites workers. And one video that created by Vice, Shamat is one of the most misunderstood subcultures and the most hated subcultures in China. So basically, the cause of this phenomenon of these subcultures was very complex. However, the rise of the subculture was made by several problems in society. And the first is very obvious, poverty and inequality of economy. In Indonesia, one of our core principles called Pancasila promotes justice for all or keadilan sosial bagi seluruh rakyat Indonesia. Well, we learn about this at schools, but things don't always match up because in real life, sadly, many kids can continue their education because their families can't afford it. Instead of staying in school, they often end up working, sometimes in like tough jobs like constructions, just to help their family to make ends meet. Life is already tough for them to even get up every morning to put food on the table. So more than self-expressions, these subcultures is the tools to escape or actions of rebellion within a subculture serve as a powerful mechanism for individual to navigate or negotiate and resist the constraints of dominant cultures. Have you ever wondered what is the definition of cool or Nora anyway? These questions could lead into self-authenticity, and this subculture deconstruct the norms and conformity in society by challenging established belief, values, and practices. Diving into the world of Jamet subculture is like peeling back layers of an onion. It's so much more than just fashion or dances on the TikTok. There's a depth and meaning behind it that often get overlooked. Despite the judgment and stereotypes people throw around, being part of this Jamet scene is a way for many to find their own space and escape from the craziness of everyday life. It's a form of expressions and a way to embrace a style that feels authentic to them. At the end of the day, we all look for ways to feel comfortable and true to ourselves. And for some, that means diving headfirst into the Jamet subcultures. It's not just about the style. It's about finding a community where you belong and you can be yourself.